So what is an array? An array is a collection of elements of similar types stored contiguously. So those are stored contiguously and represented by a common name. So you see, if I will ask you why we will use an array. Suppose I will ask you to store your roll number. So what you will do? You will declare a integer variable, right? Roll number. Next, if I will ask you to store the roll number of 5 students, 5 of your friends. So what you will do? You will declare 5 variables. Roll 1, roll 2, roll 3, roll 4, roll 5. Then you can store the roll number of your 5 friends and you can display it also. Now if I will ask you to store the roll number of all the students of your class. So you see there are 60 students in your section. So you have to declare 60 different variables. But if I will ask you to store the roll number of all the students of suite, so you have to declare around 600 to 700 variables whose name should be unique. Right? So instead of going for that, what you can do, you can use a roll of 50. So here you have declared 50 integers, right? Which is capable of storing 50 integers. Is that clear? So now let me go through the declaration of array. So declaration of array. So I will quickly recap all the things. You don't worry. So how can you declare an array? You have to write the data type space array name inside bracket size of the array. Right? So example that. So if I want to declare an integer array whose name is a, whose size is 5. So here I have declared 5 elements. Here I have declared 5 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first element is a of 0. Second element is a of 1. Third element is a of 2, a of 3, and a of 4. Right? So let's say the starting address is 1000. So it should be 1004. It should be 1008. It should be 1012, 1016. So you see, as I have already told you, every variable has 3 parts. One is address, another one is value, another one is name. Right? So now, if you want to assign values to these variables. So here you see, here an array is a collection of elements of similar types. So here the array A is a collection of 5 integers which are stored contiguously. You see, stored contiguously. Why I haven't told you continuously? Because continuously means it will be incremented by 1. So contiguously means what? It will be incremented by a value. Okay, here it is incremented by 4. That's why I have told you that array is a collection of elements of similar types stored contiguously, then represented by a common name. Here you see the name of all the elements are A. They are differing by their subscript value. A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of something like this. Okay. Now if I want to assign some values to it, so this is called as initialization. Initialization means what? Assigning value to the variables. So how will you assign? So here you can declare it like this, integer A of 5. Then you can write A of 0 equal to 10, A of 1 equal to 20, A of 2 equal to 30. Like this you can declare. So you can declare it, like this you can initialize. You can initialize it like this, or directly what you can do, here you can put a equal to curly bracket. Here also you can write 10, 20, 30. Right? So 3 values will be 10, 20, 30 and the remaining values will be 0. Because it is an integral type of array. So integral type of array by default value is 0, or character type of array the by default value is /0. Float type of array by default value is 0.0. Right? So this is all about your static initialization. Static initialization means assigning value to the variable during compile time. Next I will go through dynamic initialization. Dynamic initialization. So how will you do dynamic initialization? Dynamic initialization is nothing but assigning value to the variables during runtime, right? So you are using scanfs, so you can write scanf %b %a of 0. Next you can write scanf %b %a of 1. Similarly, you can write, so instead of writing like this, what you can do, you can use a for loop for I equal to 0, because you see you are starting from 0, I less than 5, because you see the last index is a of 4, right? Then I plus plus, and within this what you can write scanf %d %a of I. So when I equal to 0, it will execute this statement %a of 0. When I equal to 1, it will execute %a of 1. Similarly, when I equal to 4, it will execute %a of 4. Right? So this is all about your initialization. So now you see, now let me write a small program to declare an array, initialize an array and display it. Okay. So let me write as include stdio.h, then integer main. Then at last I will write return 0. First I have to declare an array. So integer a of. Next what I have to do? I have to initialize it. So let me write printf array elements. Then what I will write? I have to take a for loop because there are 5 elements. I want to initialize 5 elements. So let me declare a variable I. So here let me write for I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Next here let me write scanf %b, comma, and %a of I. So you see, I have initialized 5 elements. Now if I want to display the elements, so what I will write? Printf the array elements are, then 5 elements I have to display. So 5 printfs I have to write. So better to take a for loop. So what I will do, I will take the for loop, and here I want to display the values. So within the for loop, what I will write? Printf %d space comma a of I. Right? So now let me execute this program. File, save, execute, compile and run. Okay, here I have to put a semicolon. Right? Execute, compile and run. So is it visible to you? So enter the array elements. So let me write 10, 20, 30, 5, 90. So you see the array elements are 10, 20, 35, 90. So all of you are clear how to declare an array, how to initialize the array, and how to display the array. All of you are clear regarding this, dear students?
Yes, sir.
So now let me go through the pointer representation of this one, right? Let me go through the pointer representation of this one. So now you see here, what is the array name? Array name is A. So here the array name is A. Okay. So what is array name A? Array name A is a constant pointer which always points to the starting address of the array. So here the array name A stores 1000. Okay. So here let me write it over here. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. So there are 5 elements: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Array name is A. So the elements are A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4. Address is 1000, 1004, 1008, 1012, 1016. Right? So what is array name? Array name A is a constant pointer which always points to the starting address of the array. It is pointing to this one. Okay. So here we need to remember this one. Array name is a constant pointer that always points to the starting address of the array. Starting address of the array. Okay. So here, if I will write printf percentage p is used for address. Okay. Here I will write a. So what it will display? A stores 1000, so it will display 1000. Right? Now if I will write printf percentage p a plus 1. So address plus 1. In the last class I have told you address plus 1 means next address of its type. So it will display 1004. Right? So if I will write a plus 2, it will display 1000. Now if I will write star a, so value at 1000. What is value at 1000? Let's say here I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So here it will display 10. Right? Next, a plus 1 star. So what I will get? Star of a plus 1 means this is nothing but a of 1, which is nothing but 20. Right? Similarly, star of a plus I is nothing but a of I. Right? So now you see, if you know this much, what you can do, let me go through the program. Here, instead of ampersand a of I, what I can write? I can write a plus I. Here, instead of a of I, what I can write? Here I can write star of a plus I. Right? So you see, if I will execute this one, there is absolutely no problem. The same thing I will get. Enter the array elements 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So you see, I have got the array elements are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So what you have learned? Sir, ampersand of a of I is equivalent to a plus I. Similarly, this is equivalent to ampersand of I of A. You can also write it like this. This is equivalent to I plus A. All are same. Similarly, this one you need to understand. Second one is A of I is equivalent to star of A plus I, which is equivalent to I of A. You can write A of I or you can write I of A. There is absolutely no problem, both are same. Which is equivalent to star of I plus A. Right? So this is the relationship between pointer notation and your index notation. So all of you are clear regarding this? Dear students, all of you have understood this one? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So if yes, let me ask you one question. Okay. So if yes, let me ask you one question. Integer a of 5 equal to, let me statically initialize it, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay. Now, let me display some values. Now you have to tell me, can you tell me what should be the output of this one? The students.
20, sir.
20,
30.
So 30,
30.
30, 30,
It should be 30,
30.
right? It should be 30. So you see how it is 30, I will show you. Compile and run. You see the output is 30, right? Is it visible 30? So now you see how it is 30. So here you see, here what I have written? I have written star of a plus 2. So a is how much? 1000. 1000 plus 2. So star of 1000 plus 2. So 1000 plus 2, 1000 plus 1 is 1004. 1000 plus 1004 plus 1 is 1008. Okay, right? So 1000 plus 2 is nothing but 1008. So 1008. So star of 1008 means value at 1008. What is the value at 1008? It's nothing but 30. Right? So now let me ask you another question. Can you tell me what should be the output of this one? Dear students, star of a plus 2. What should be the output of this one?
So 12.
Very good. So the answer is 12. So now let me tell you how you will get 12. Okay. So here you see, here I have written star a plus 2. So you see this is a unary operator, its precedence is higher. So star A means star 1000 plus 2. So star 1000 means value at 1000. What is the value at 1000? It's 10. So 10 plus 2 is how much? It's nothing but 12. Right? So here you see, here you will get 12. Yes? So now let me ask, is there any doubt, dear students?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
Clear.
sir.
Okay, no doubt. Very good, very good. So you see, this is the relationship between pointer and array. Right? Now let me go through to another thing that is called as function, so that I can tell you how to pass an array to a function. Right? So today we will go through another topic that is called as function. So today we will go through another topic that is called as function. So can you give me some examples of functions, dear students? Can you give me some example of functions you have already used?
So scanf, printf.
Very good. Scanf, printf, these are the functions, right? So you have already used some functions. For example, printf, scanf. So what is the job of printf?
To display the output.
Very good, to display on the standard output. What is the job of scanf?
Take the input from the keyboard.
Very good. To accept the input from the standard input, right? So now you see every function has a specific task. So what is a function? A function is a self-contained block of statements block of statements used for a specific task. Printf. What is its use? It's used to print on the standard output. Scanf. What is its use? Its job is to accept from the standard input. Right? So a function, every function has a specific task. So there are basically two kinds of functions. Right? One is user-defined function, and the second one is predefined or library functions. Right? So printf, scanf are your predefined or library functions. Right? Now every function has three parts. So every function has three parts. What are the three parts? The first part is function prototype. Second part is function call. And the third part is function definition or function body. Right? So first we will go through function prototype. Right? So first we will go through function prototype. So function prototype defines three things. One is what is the return type of the function. Second one is function name. What is the name of the function? Next one is number and type of arguments. Then after you have to put a semicolon. So this is the syntax. Right? For example, if I want to write a factorial functions prototype, so what should be the return type? Factorial, what the factorial function will return? Integer, character, or float?
Float.
Integer. Factorial will always be an integral value, right? So return type is integer. What is the function name? You can take fact. How many arguments it will take? In order to calculate the factorial, how many arguments it will take?
1.
One argument. Because if I will ask you what is the factorial of 5, so here how many arguments it has taken? One argument, that is 5. So 5 is of which type? It is of integer type. Right? So here I have to write. So you have to write the data type. Right? So you see return type is integer. Function name. So function name is an identifier. So it should consist of alphabetic and numeric characters. It must start with an alphabetic character or underscore. It should not be a keyword. So by following these rules, you can give any name. So function name, where you will get the term name, that is an identifier, right? Next, how many arguments you have to take? How many arguments in order to compute factorial? You require a single number, that is of integer type. That's why I have written a single integer, right? Now I want to compute sum of two integers. So the function name is sum. How many integers? Two integers. So how many arguments? Two arguments. What is the data type? Integer. So if you will add two integers, the return type is also an integer. So if I will ask you to write a function to find the sum of digits of a number, so the function name is sum of digit. How many arguments it will take? Can you tell me? Sum of digit.
10.
10 arguments at a number. How many arguments it will take? If I will ask you sum of digit of a number, so you have to input a number. So input a number means it will take a single argument of integer type. And sum of digit, what it will return if you have inputted a number 153? What it will return? 1 plus 5, 6, 6 plus 3, 9. So the return type will be an integer. Is that clear? Suppose you want to swap two values. So the function name is swap. Suppose you want to swap two characters. So there are two arguments. First one is character, second one is character. So the return type, if you do not want to return any value, so the return type is void. Suppose you want to divide two numbers. What is the function name? Div. How many arguments it is you have to take? Two arguments. Float, float. So if you will divide two numbers, it will return another number. So if you will divide two floats, it will be another float. So the return type is float. So all of you have understood function prototype. Function prototype defines three things. One is what is the return type. Second one is what is the function name. Third one is number and type of arguments. Is that clear, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next we will go through the next thing that is called as function call. Function call. So where you have to write the function prototype you have to write in the declaration area. Declaration section. In the declaration section you have to write the function prototype, right? Next let us come to function call. So function call, let me show you the syntax. So syntax, what you have to write? You have to write the function name. Then here you have to pass the actual argument. Actual argument. So let us go through some examples. Okay. So here you see, let me go through a predefined function printf. So what you are writing? You see the function name is printf. What do you want to display? You want to display suppose hello. So you have written hello. So how many arguments you have passed? One argument. So anything written within the double quotes is a string. So you have passed a single argument which is a string, right? So now for this function, can you tell me what should be the function call? To whom I will ask, he or she need to answer. Okay. Aman Raj, can you hear me? Aman.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have to tell me the answer, right? So you see the factorial functions prototype. This is the prototype of factorial function. Can you tell me how I will call this factorial function? What I will write over here?
Sir, I didn't get it.
You see, this is the prototype of factorial function. I want to call this factorial function. So what is the function name?
Int.
Int is the return type, right? Int is the return type. What is the function name?
FACT.
FACT is the function name. FACT is the function name, right? How many arguments it takes?
One.
One argument. Which type? Integer, character or float?
Integer.
Integer type.
Okay, so how you will call it? What is the syntax? Function name. What is the function name of factorial function?
Fact.
Fact.
So here what I will write. Okay. Which factorial you want to find? Suppose you want to find the factorial of 5. So here you will pass 5. So this is how you can call the factorial function. Is that clear, Aman? Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, next I will ask another student. Okay, he or she have to answer how you have to call the sum function. So let me choose a student. Anjali, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Anjali, you tell me for the sum function. For the sum function, this is the prototype of the sum function. How will you call it?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
You see, this is the prototype of sum function, right? This is the prototype of the sum function. Can you tell me how will you call it? So in this sum function, what is the return type? In this sum
The,
function, what is the return type?
the sum.
Sum is the function name.
Int.
Sum is the function name. What
Yes.
is the return type?
Integer.
The integer.
Int. Int is the return type. Yes. How many arguments it takes?
Sir, 2.
2. How do you know that 2? Because I have written int, comma, int. So 2 arguments. Yes?
Yes,
Very
sir.
good. So now you tell me, if this is the prototype, how will you call it? What is the syntax of function call? Anjali,
Yes, sir.
what is the syntax for function call? Function name
Um,
and an actual argument. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
So what is the function name of sum function? Sum function का function name क्या
Sum.
था? Sum.
The
So here
sum.
what you will write? Sum. How many arguments were there?
2
The 2.
arguments.
2
A comma B.
arguments. So a comma b you can write. Suppose
Yes.
here you have taken a equal to 10, b equal to 20. So here you can pass a comma b. This is dead easy. Or what you can do, sir, we can pass it like this also. Sum 5 comma 10. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So if a function prototype is given, can you write the function call?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I will go through the next student. He or she has to tell how to call the SOD function. Right? So let me select a person. Arpita Mohanty, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Arpita, you tell me. Here I have written the function prototype of SOD. SOD means sum of digit function. Can you
Yes, sir.
write its function call? Here, what is the function name?
SOD.
Very good. What is the return type?
Int.
Very good. How many arguments it takes?
1.
What is that argument?
Int.
Very good. So now you tell me the function call of that function. So what I will write?
SOD.
Very good.
So can
Yes.
we take any number here?
Yes, you can take any number.
So 10.
And no problem. So you can write SOD10. Instead of a number, you can pass a variable SODB, SODA, no problem. Is that clear, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Function call is clear. You see, if you will not understand this one, you will not understand how to pass an array to a function, and you will not understand data structure, anything. All of you have understood how to write a function call? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now
Yes, sir.
last question. Tuleshwar, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tuleshwar, you tell me, this is the function prototype of swap function. This
Yes,
is the
sir.
function prototype of swap function. Can you tell me its function call?
Yes, sir. Swap.
Very good.
Swap its function name.
Swap is the function name. Then two characters.
Yes, sir. Two correct.
So two characters. So characters are represented in single quote A,
A,
comma.
B, B.
Here why I have put it within a single quote. Have you understood? Because it is a character, right?
Yes,
Or
sir.
here you can see, here you can take X, or here you can take Y,
Why?
right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So now we will go through function body. So where the function call is written, can anybody tell me? Come printf, where you are writing the printf? Within the main function, yes or no? So between a function body, you have to write the function call, right? Next we will go through function body. Function body or definition. right? So first we will write the function body of first function, that is factorial function, right? So you see we have written the prototype of factorial function, we have written the function call of factorial function, now we will write the function body of factorial function. So what is the syntax? So let me write the syntax. So first you have to write the return type, then function name, then formal argument. So you see function, in function call what you will pass, that is actual argument. In function body what you will define, that is called as function formal argument. Then after that you should not have to put a semicolon, you have to start a curly bracket. Here you have to write the body of the function, then you have to terminate. So you see the first line of function body is called as function declarator. And function declarator should match with function prototype. So what was the prototype of factorial function? Int fact int. So the first line you have to write accordingly. First line return type is int, function name is fact, and here one variable int. But here you have to declare a formal argument. So any name you can take. So integer number here, right? So now I need to find the factorial of number. So how will I write the factorial of number? Here I can declare a variable integer f equal to 1. Then here I will write while number is greater than 0, f equal to f into number, then number minus minus. So this is the logic for factorial, right? So after computation of the factorial is stored in which variable? F. So what I will write? I will write return f. Then I have to close the curly bracket, right? So this is the function body of factorial function. Is that clear, dear students? So let me write it in a single program. So first I have to write the function prototype. So factorial function's return type is integer, because you see, if I will ask you what is the factorial of 5, you will say 120. So what you have written? You have written 120, that is an integer. What you have taken? 5 you have taken, that is also an integer. So first let me write the prototype of factorial function. So int fact int. This is the prototype. Either you can write it in the global declaration or you can write it in the local declaration, right? Next what you have to do? Next you have to declare a variable, integer n, and printf, or here I can statically initialize it n equal to 5. Then you have to call the factorial function. So here in order to store the result, let me write r. R equal to, how will you call the factorial function? Fact of n. Here you see this is the function call. Function name is fact, and actual argument here you want to compute the factorial of n. That's why I have passed n, right? So it will return a value. That value will be stored inside R. Then I will print the value. So printf factorial equal to %d. So instead of %d, which value you want to display? The value of R. Is that clear? So you see, this is the prototype. So this is the prototype. This is the call. Now I have to write the function body. So function body is usually written outside the main function or outside any other function. So the first line of function body is called as function declarator, which should match with the prototype. So prototype return type was int. I have written int. Prototype, you see in prototype it is fact. Here I will write fact. Then it is a integer variable, so integer. So here why I have taken n? No, you can take any variable, right? You can take any variable. Now it has a body, right? So what I will do, I will compute the factorial logic. F equal to 1. So while number is greater than 0. What I will do, I will write f equal to f into number. Then, so here let me put a curly bracket. So f equal to f into number. F equal to f into number. Then number minus. And the factorial is stored inside which variable? Inside f. So I will write return. So this is the whole program to compute the factorial of a number by using function. But now you see, let me explain you how it works internally. Okay, the program execution begins from, yes students, the program execution begins from main function. Very good. So next you have declared the prototype. Next you have declared a variable n. Next you have called the function factorial. So fact, what you have passed? N you have passed. What is the value of n? N equal to 5. So when you will call a function, the control will be transferred to the function body. So after here, fact n, the control will be transferred to here, right? Next, the actual argument, that is n, will be copied to the formal argument n. So what was the value of n? N का value कितना था?
5.
So number का value कितना होगा?
5.
5.
Right.
Now again integer f equal to 1. So while 5 is greater than 0, so this will be executed and factorial will be calculated and stored inside f. Now return f. So this f will contain the factorial, that is 120. So this will return to where?
R.
To the function call.
Function.
Very good. So instead of this fact n, 120 will be replaced. Now r equal to 120. So after this, printf factorial equal to %d comma r. What is the value of r? 120. So it will display factorial equal to 120. Is that clear, dear students?
Yes, sir.
I am asking all the students. All of you are clear how function works? When you will call a function, the control will be transferred to function body. After function body is executed, the call will be returned to the function call. Then the execution will continue. Is that clear? Okay. Now I have to write a program to pass an array. Okay. So now I will write a program to sort an array, sort an element in the array. So I will write a program to sort an element in the array. So you see, so let me ask one student. Manas Panigrahi, can you hear me? Manas, can you hear me? Manas, can you hear me? Okay. Priti Mishra, can you hear me? Priti Mishra, can you hear me? Adish Satpathy, can you hear me? Adish.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me ask you one question. You tell me whether 5 is present in the array or not. Whether 5 is present in the array or not. So you see your which array, yes or no. So first what we have to do, first we have to declare an array. Next thing, what we have to do? We have to initialize the array, right? So first I
Yes,
have
sir.
declared the array, then I have initialized the array. Next I will ask whether the element 72 is present in the array or not. So 72 is present or not?
Yes, sir. Present.
So how do you know that? So first you have compared this one with 72. This is not 72. So what you will do? You will compare the next element. Then you will compare the next element. Then you will compare the next element. Then you will compare the next element. Now you see the element is found. This is 72. Yes or no?
Yes,
So
sir.
this is how
Yes,
you
sir.
are searching an array. So first what you have to do? First you have to declare an array. So integer main. So first you have to declare an array. Integer. So I have already told you how to declare an array. So let me declare an array. Integer a of 5 equal to, let's say 5, 7, 30, 30, 40. Next, in order to store the source element, let me declare a variable s. And in order to initialize it or iterate it, let me write a variable I. Next, let me ask the source element. So printf enter source element. Then what I will write? I will accept the values scanf, %d, %s. Okay. Next, I have to compare it with the first element, second element, third element, fourth element, like this up to fifth element. So what I will do? I will take a for loop. For I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Next, here what I will do? If a of I is equal to source element, then I will break. I will go out of the loop. Right? Now, out of the loop, what I will check? If I equal to 6. 6 means I plus 1, or I equal to 5, or if I is equal to 5, it means the break statement is not executed. Yes or no? So what I will do? Printf element not found. Otherwise my element is found. So else printf element is found. Right? Next, return. Now I want to do this program by using a function. Right? So I want to do this program by using a function. So let us see how will we do this one by using a function. So let me erase everything. Okay. Now you see the source set. First we have to write the prototype. Okay. So prototype means what is the function name? The function name is source. Okay. So what we will pass? Sir, we have to pass the array. So pass the array means we have to pass the starting address of the array. That is integer pointer. Okay. Next, we have to pass the size of the array. That is integer. Next, we have to pass the source element, which is also an integer. So the source function will return what? Sir, the source function will return whether the element is present or not. If the element is present, it will return 1. If the element is not present, it will return 0. So 0 or 1 means it is again an integer. So return type is an integer. Function name is source. First argument is an array. So we have passed the array address. Then second argument is the size of the array. Then the third element is the source element. So this is the prototype that I have written. Okay, students, all of you have understood this one? Yes or no? Dear students,
Sir, first argument is the pointer.
why I have taken pointer? Because I want to pass the array. So instead of star, what you can write? you can also write it like this. Okay, both are correct, no problem. But we will use this notation.
Okay, sir.
Next, we have to declare the array. So integer a of 10. Next, I have to initialize it. For that, I have to declare a variable I. Next, I have to ask for a source element s. Next, I have written printf. Enter the array. How many elements are there? 10 elements are there. So better to take a loop. So for I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Then here what I will write? Scanf percentage d comma m% a of I. So you see, as there is a single statement inside the for loop, I haven't used curly bracket, right? Next, let me ask the source element. So printf enter the source element. What I will write? Scanf percentage d comma m% s. Right? Yes or no? So I have, you see, I have declared the array, initialized the array. Then I have initialized the source element. Now I have to call the which function? Source function, because I want to check whether the element is present or not. So here I will write I equal to source. The first argument is the array, that is a I have written. Second argument is the size of the array, that is 10. Third argument is the source
Searching
element.
element.
So I have written S. Next, the source will return either -1 or either 0 or 1. So here if I will write if I equal to 0. So what I will write? Printf element not. If I is not 0, it means element is found. Printf element is. Okay. So here I will change one thing. If the element is not found, it will return -1, right? That's why I have written if I equal to -1, printf element is not found, else element is found. So now you see I have written the prototype of source function. And you see here I have called the source function. So this is the function. So you see function call same. The function name is source. The first argument is array. That's why I have passed a. The second argument is the size of the array, that is 10. The third argument is the source element. So you see the first one is the pointer, second one is an integer, and third one is an integer. Now I have to write the function body of source function. So the function body, first line is called as function declarator, that should match with the function prototype. So I have copied this one, pasted it over here. Integer source. So here I have to declare the formal arguments. So integer b, integer size, so n, and here integer source element s. Right? Yes or no? So you see it matches the function prototype. Int source, integer pointer, integer, integer, right? So here I have to take a for loop. So for that I need to declare a variable I. So here I will write for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So here I will write if. So what is the array name?
Sir, we have to pass A, sir, what you written S in.
I have passed. Here you see, here I have passed A. That A will be copied to whom? That A will be copied to B. So now I will access the array A through the pointer B. So here you see, let me explain you over here. Here you see, let's say the array name is A. Okay, so A will contain the starting address, that is 1000. and it will be 1004, 1008, 1012 like this. Now you see here you have passed A. In the function call, what you have passed? A. But in the function body, what you have written? B. So now A will be copied to B. So here I have declared another pointer B. Now B will store the value of A. What A stores? A stores the starting address of the array, that is 1000. So now B will store 1000. So B will point to which location? This location. So now A of I जो था in this function B of I भी वही ही है. Yes or no? So instead of this B, you can take any name. You can take ARR, you can take X, Y, Z. Choice is yours. But you see, it will take the copy of A. That's why now you are pointing to A through the pointer B, right? So here I will write if B of I is equal to search element, then break. Okay? So if P of I means if the element is found in the array, then I am breaking. Breaking means I am going out of the loop. So outside the loop, what I will check? If I is equal to n, then the element is not found. So I will write return -1. Else what I will return? Else I will return the index, at which index I have found the value. Else return I. So now you see when it will return -1, when I equal to n. When I equal to n, sir, when this break statement will not be executed, तब कब ये लूप टर्मिनेट होगा? जब I का वैल्यू n के साथ सेम हो जाएगा. तो n लेस देन n फॉल्स हो जाएगा, it will go out of the loop. So if the element is not found, then the value of I will become to n, right? So if I equal to n, it means the element is not found. Element is not found means it will return -1. Where it will return? It will return to I. So here I will check if I equal to -1, it means the element is not found. Otherwise the element is